I spy with my little eye some heat that's coming next year. What's up, guys? It's your boy Money Mark coming at you guys in another episode of Sneaker Saturdays. I am super happy that you guys have been able or made yourself available to come kick it with your boy this Saturday morning or afternoon. The birds are chirping, the bees are singing, and we're here. So let's get it cracking. I'm super excited to talk to you guys today. Today, I don't know if you guys have noticed that a lot of the drops I've talked about are future far ahead drops. I wanted to give you guys enough time to get your business and get your house in order to get these drops, because these drops are coming hard. And next year, man, I don't know what's going on with next year, but it just seems like there is just drop after drop after drop, and this sneaker thing's getting out of control. There's just so many things. I want this, I want that. There's so many things I want coming in 2022. And we're gonna talk about 3 new concepts that are dropping, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. And I can't wait to see what you guys have to think about that. All right, so first on deck, we're talking about a sneaker that's not Nike. We're talking about a sneaker that we actually haven't talked about. We've talked about Reebok, we've talked about Adidas, we've talked about Nike, plenty of Nike. We've even talked about some ASICs, but we haven't talked about New Balance. That's right, New Balance. New Balance has jumped in the scene and has been making some little waves as of late. With the signing of Kawhi Leonard, we've seen that New Balance is essentially really invested into their lifestyle brand and dropping new lifestyle variations of sneakers. And right now, this sneaker right here definitely looks like it's a variation. It is, of course, the Concept 992 Kiwi. This is a Concept 992 Kiwi New Balance sneaker. Now, when looking at this sneaker and just taking a good look at it, as you take a look at it, it differentiates from, of course, the Jolly Rancher or the Groovy Racer, which was Jaden Smith's drop. This right here, this Concept 992, is specifically looks like they've taken a classic silhouette, which almost has the orthopedic vibe that still kind of seems to be in. I know Balenciaga definitely jumped out of there and took the orthopedic sneaker and added elements to it and added some gravity to it as well. But now, New Balance is taking that same concept of their classic orthopedic look, but they're adding lifestyle concepts to it. We have, of course, the suede overlay over the whole shoe, essentially. We have like this kind of mocha tan concept that's all throughout the shoe itself. That is the primary color throughout the whole shoe. We, of course, underneath on the underlays, we have some suede underneath the underlays and the air pockets as well. Brown laces, and then we have the Kiwi accents. The Kiwi on the New Balance side on the outer panel. We also have the Kiwi color in the tongue, on the concepts on the tongue. The sole, the midsole as well, has a little tiny Kiwi air pocket, as well as a little green panel that goes on the back and around the back tab with, oddly enough, a black undersole to kind of just give you some contrast as well. Me personally, looking at these shoes, one of the things about it, I think this shoe proves that a solid colorway can make even some of the traditional, some of the not so nice or not so hype sneakers look hype. And I think looking at these shoes and looking at a lot of the other colorways in the 992 series, they're definitely using all that real estate that they have on that shoe and then using it to good use. I definitely like the fact that they're playing on the materials. I'm a material person, so having suede on the underlays, having that furry material on the outside definitely gives it that cool feeling. I think earlier I said it was suede on the outside, on the outer layers, but they're like more of like a ruffled material. I didn't really get a chance to necessarily look at what it's officially called, because these essentially are first look, just dropping. These are set to drop 2022. We don't have an official release month or date yet, but these sneakers are dropping. And I don't think we necessarily have a price point for these as of yet, but be on the lookout for these because more information will come. Okay, so next on deck, we're gonna talk about a Nike shoe that is set to drop, of course, 2022. Of course, it's another first look, and it's from off-white, was from Virgil Abloh, the drip king god himself. Virgil Abloh has dropped another concept sneaker. We got a first look at another variation of that classic Air Force One. Now, when looking at the Virgil Abloh Frankenstein, the off-white Frankenstein, or Frankenstein Air Force One, there's a lot going on here. There's so many different things, so many different layers. It's such a layered shoe in and of itself. First and foremost, Virgil differentiated from what the usual popular sneaker choices are with the concept silhouette of the Air Force One. Typically, you typically usually see a high, or you normally see a low. Virgil actually went with a mid, giving you that extra strap, that mid-tier. You know, you can kind of wear it with jeans, you can kind of wear it with shorts. You can, I guess, essentially. Some people don't like mids. I know in some areas in the country, mids are a no-no. I know in Harlem, apparently, mids are a no-no. I think in Chicagoland area, I don't necessarily think that's the case, but definitely a hard shoe to cop. Looking at the shoe and just jumping right in, there's so many different things that are just added to this shoe. Now, first and foremost, this is supposed to drop in a white and a black in 2022. So that's one thing to keep your eye on. Looking at the white one, because that's the first image that necessarily is popped that I saw on all the blogs. Looking at it, we have, of course, a gray strap. First and foremost, jumping right into it, we have a gray strap. We have a primary construction white overlay on top of the whole sneaker. In fact, it's on the overlay and the underlay. We, of course, also have some additional construction on it. The major thing that you see on that is looking at the midsole. The midsole, you can see a pocket, or you see a sole pocket that's typically usually covered, but now we have access to it. We see this crazy waffle grid bottom sole on the shoe itself, and it's on the inner sole, it's on the inner panel, or the inner panel of the sneaker itself, and of course some of it is on the toe box, or adorns the bottom of the toe box itself as well. And it's this funky waffle kind of colored palette that kind of has a pink and blue in it as well. It super stands out, almost has like a mountaineer effect to it as well. Of course, we got the off-white frills, or the off-white additionals that are attached to that sneaker as well. We have the Nike sign with the orange tag underneath the top of that Nike, of course, the Nike sign. We also have on the back tab, on the inner panel of the back tab, we also have this gray grid that kind of seeks, that kind of panels out into the sneaker itself. The sneaker is definitely a Frankenstein. It definitely is a construct of ideas, Of course, on the inner sole, or on the inner, not the inner sole, but on the inner panel of the sneaker, where the Nike sign is, we have, of course, the traditional off-white script that adorns every single off-white shoe. We have that as well, and it looks, honestly looking at this shoe, you know, it's really hard to do something different that we haven't seen with something like an Air Force One. Definitely is. And the fact that we have this definitely add some new levity to it as well. This sneaker honestly got some controversy as well, but I think this sneaker, when it drops, is definitely gonna have the original Yeezy effect. I remember when the first Yeezys dropped, everyone hated them, and then everyone bought them. And I think that's what's gonna happen with this. Everyone's gonna hate this, but then everyone's gonna buy it. Except I'm not too sure about the black ones, but I definitely think those white ones are definitely gonna get some fanfare. So definitely keep your eyes out on this. We don't have a price point yet, and we don't have an exact date, but it's set to drop December 22. So these are just first looks. So take a look at that. Tell me what you think. Okay, so next on deck, we have another Nike that's dropping, that's set to drop 2022. Now this sneaker is like a Back to the Future, right? And why do I call it a Back to the Future? Because we saw the sneaker already. We wanted this sneaker already. We coveted this sneaker already, but we couldn't get our hands on this sneaker because the hype gods wouldn't let us get it. They wouldn't let us find it. There's like only a couple people could find it, and we cried and we got teary-eyed. What I'm talking about is the Lebron 9 Watch the Thrones. LeBron 9 Watch the Thrones. Now, when you're looking at the LeBron 9 Watch the Thrones, this right here was a release shoe. That was a super exclusive release shoe that was essentially only given to LeBron and his homies. Jay-Z, Kanye, whatever the case may be. It was around the time period the Watch the Throne album dropped, and everybody who understands hip-hop culture, who understands sneaker culture in general, understands the impact of Watch the Throne. I mean, just, you know, niggas in Paris just, you know, ball so hard. I remember just, you know, balling so hard, you know, trying to ball so hard in the club. These Watch the Thrones, essentially. And I believe these sneakers actually made appearance on the Niggas in Paris video itself. So looking at this, just jumping right into these sneakers, I mean, you know these sneakers, you've already seen them. But of course we have that, looking at it, we have that all black kind of mesh overlay on the sneaker on the LeBron 9's. A lot of people say the LeBron 9's are LeBron's best shoe. I personally am more privy to the LeBron 10's, but I think the LeBron 9's are definitely a very close second. The colorways on the LeBron 9's were ridiculous. There was like the asteroid one that had the glow in the dark. There was so many different things that they were doing. Honestly, I believe the 9's and the 10's built the LeBron sneaker, because I think before then the LeBrons were kind of whatever. they weren't really, you know, what was hot in the streets. But these, when the 9's and 10's dropped, these is when it was crazy. And it's because of combinations and variations like this. So jumping into it, of course, all traditionally black with the gold Nike sign and some gold accents on some of the eyelids, of course, as well. And then we got those funky laces, those funky, like, almost like Africana laces on them as well. And then we got that lace lock, that Watch the Throne grizzled, like that, just rigid, that masculine lace lock as well, that just sits prominently on top of that. And then of course we got the LeBron signature on the tongue itself. Looking at the inside of the shoe itself, of course you kind of have that Africana pattern all around the top of the shoe, inside the shoe itself. And then we get the gold speckle on the midsole of that, and on the outer rim that kind of wraps around, we get this cool little gel bottom with the air pocket just sitting right there and pristine. It's just, it's the Watch the Throne. And honestly speaking, you see that sneaker, you automatically want to get it because you couldn't get your hands on it. I remember you see all these images of, you know, LeBron wearing them, LeBron playing with them. You saw Kanye having them on in the video. It was a show, but we couldn't get our hands on it because we weren't cool enough. And when the pairs leaked, of course, there were $10,000 to get your hands on them, kind of like the Red Octobers, because that's what Nike, of course, was doing back then. Hype culture, hype culture, hype culture, and here we here. So these shoes, of course, obviously right now do not necessarily have a price point. I think these are just the first official concepts that have just released, essentially. They look very similar to the shoe itself. I'm wondering though, I remember there being a glow in the dark element to the Watch the Thrones. I'm not 100% sure. It could just be my imagination. I'll go watch the video. I don't want to watch the video before I recorded the video because I just saw them and I was like, gotta talk about them. So definitely go back and watch the video and let me know if they had a glow in the dark element to them. I remember it being something glowing in the dark, but whatever. But these are the sneakers. Definitely be on the lookout for these 2022s. Definitely get on your job, call your guy who knows that guy, and get in touch with that guy to get these sneakers. So that's it. It's 3 sneakers, like we always do. 3 in, 3 out. Well, no, it's 3 in because we don't do another 3. But we do 3 and we out. We got 3 drops dropping in 2022 that are set to turn heads. Of course, we got the New Balance Concept Kiwi 992s that are dropping 2022. Of course, giving you that classic, almost orthopedic silhouette that's still kind of dope or still kind of making waves. On the overlays, you got the furry material, and of course, you got that suede on the inner lays as well. And then, of course, you got that Kiwi accents all throughout the sneaker itself. Of course, New Balance always boasting a comfortable shoe. Okay, and then you got the Abloh Frankensteins, them Air Force One mids, with that funky geometric pattern on the bottom of that sneaker, the classic off-white script on the inner panel, the classic Nike sign off-white tab on the outer, and then that gray strap with the super interesting extra lace with the kind of rips on the eyelids, giving it that construction feel, giving it that, of course, that fly knit feel. Looks like it's gonna be super comfortable. And of course, we got the OG Watch the Thrones, the shoe that we wanted. We all wanted to get our hands on, but couldn't find it because we weren't cool enough, because we didn't rap. Our mixtape didn't land like we thought it was gonna land. You know what I'm saying? Stack that cheese. We didn't get it popping like that. So we got those Lebron 9's. We couldn't get our hands on those Lebron 9 Watch the Thrones. And that, of course, given that aggressive looking lace lock. Honestly, the lace lock pretty much makes the sneaker, especially if these don't glow in the dark. But then, of course, you got that funky Africana pattern, that green Africana pattern on the lace locks. Inside the shoe, we got that nice, dope, subtle blue air bubble. The white air bubble, and of course, we got the blue. We got the blue out bottom sole, gel bottom sole on the bottom of that shoe. They kind of mix it. It's kind of like a blue with like just a regular black bottom sole on that as well. Just looking super dope. Now, if I have to tell you what I would look for, I would go for the Watch the Thrones. Now, even though I said it's just the lace lock that makes that shoe, first of all, everybody wanted these shoes. Number one, it's a LeBron 9, and the LeBron 9 silhouette is probably the best silhouette out of the 3 sneakers. That's number 2. And then it's just a piece of hip hop history. Putting your feet in those, you're just gonna also, you're gonna be in Paris. You're gonna be in Paris. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna want to put those on in Paris. So definitely, I would go with the LeBron 9s. I think, of course, the Frankensteins are probably going to be the most hype sneaker, but I do feel that the Watch the Thrones are going to be pretty hype as well, seeing as they're already releasing official images of a sneaker that they already released. We already know what they look like, but whatever. If I would have to pick a sneaker, I would definitely pick those LeBron 9s Watch the Thrones. And yeah, man, that is it. It is 3 sneakers. We're done. It's the end of Sneaker Saturdays. I appreciate you guys being here with me every Saturday. Continue to support the channel. Continue to support the Stories with Chris whenever he does one. Continue to support Logical Crazy Talk Podcast. That's coming back. Season 2 after November. Coming back for the Christmas season with a couple Christmas episodes for your face. And then, of course, 2 to the Body Podcast. 2 to the Body and Body Shots. We appreciate all of the subscriptions. We appreciate all of the views. We appreciate all of the comments in the video, out the video, whatever. We appreciate you guys watching the video and supporting us. This is Money Mark signing out from Sneaker Saturdays. Peace.
Ever since I was a kid, I fell in love with this shit. I've been grinding for some years just to get in this bitch. Watch out for the industry, deliver them hits. Then be in LA trying to find a girl that drink hadn't hit. Damn, I ain't mean to spill the tea. I took a journey on the toll road. I had to pay the fee. Your mother fed you that poison. Don't